Hopefully we're live. Good evening, everyone. Bad-tempered Badger here, and I have with me this fine evening these lovely people.
Hi.
I haven't heard myself described that way before.
Yes, you have. I've called you a lovely person.
Yeah.
And we are here this evening to get live reactions of these lovely people to my most recent story, which is my dramatic reading of a story by Duke Bonanza. Are we all ready?
Yeah, let's go for it. I still think the title of this is misleading, though, Badger.
You're misleading.
It should be clickbaity enough that there should be a few people in here right now, but you know.
You know what? It's so clickbaity. People probably think this should be on Pornhub.
Yeah.
Well, I could put it on the channel later. Right, here we go. So we make that happen. Then I go over to this and I tell it to play. Is it working for you?
Okay, I can hear stuff now, yeah.
No good.
Yeah.
The Apologist and the Viking, a tale of forbidden love by Duke Bonanza. Kent leaned back in his chair and rubbed his eyes. He'd spent the last few hours working on his newest article on dinosaur riding apparatus, and it was time for a break. Kent stood up from his desk, stretched, and went to the refrigerator for a lemonade. Heeding the righteous call of God is thirsty work. Taking a sip from his lemonade, Kent made his way back to his desk, sat down, and opened the screen on his laptop. He stared at his work, reading over it for mistakes, the glow of the screen lighting his face in the darkness of the room. Nearly perfect, he thought to himself, and he resolved to put in the finishing touches in the morning. It was time for something fun. Kent pulled up his YouTube account and began scrolling through his feed, looking for atheist content to destroy with his superior intellect and skill for logic. He watched a couple of Paul Legier and Godless Cranium videos. Then he stumbled across something new. A show on Odinson Media, hosted by some chap named Ansgar Odinson. Kent giggled at the name. He picked a video at random and leaned back in his chair, sipping his lemonade. He would soon need a refill. After what seemed like an eternity of waiting, finally the video began. There, before him, was Ansgar, the Viking king. Kent was instantly stricken by the bearded blonde Nordic beauty looking back at him from the screen.
My God,
Kent whispered, the voices of 1,000 Valkyrie roaring in his loins. Never had he seen such an example of manhood, such supple features, and a gaze as fierce as nor'easter winds, lips full and silky. Kent watched them move and wished they were pressed against his own. Lost in thought and filled with awe, Kent slipped into a private world of wonder and mystery where his Viking king awaited him. Thunder crashes in the distance. A young stable boy finishes locking down the horses in preparation for the coming storm. As he comes up to the barn to head in for the evening, he sees a man on horseback approaching the farm.
health and happiness, young man. I am Ansgar Odinson.
Ansgar said.
Where is the master of this farm?
Health and happiness, sir. He is away seeing after the sales from the harvest.
I know who's done the voices here.
I offer lodging. I have nice lamb stew and some bread and meat inside. I fear the coming storm will be fierce.
Aye, rest and a bit of mead will do me good. I am weary from my travels.
Ansgar replied. Kent felt a thrill in his heart as the big man dismounted his horse, the muscles in his thighs and arms bulging. He handed Kent the reins and went into the house to wait. Kent watched until the Ansgar disappeared, then went to stable his horse, a big steed, as was necessary to carry the weight of the man. As he rubbed the horse down, Kent couldn't help but fantasize that he was rubbing down Ansgar instead. He imagined the Viking's powerful muscles first tensing and giving way to his firm touch. He heard in his mind the hot, heavy breath and gentle moans as he worked the tension from Ansgar's body. Kent put away his tools and locked down the barn, securing the animals. Heading into the cottage, took deep breaths to clear his head and slow his pulse. He could not feel this way. It was forbidden. Upon entering the cottage, Kent found Ansgar reclined with his massive feet up on a footstool, drinking a horn of mead.
I helped myself to a drink.
Ansgar said, smiling.
I am glad, sir. I'm sorry for the delay.
Kent replied.
I was seeing after your horse, and it is a fine steed, sir.
Aye, it is indeed,
answered Ansgar, giving the young man a long, steady look. Kent blushed and shuffled.
Shall I fetch your dinner, sir?
Kent asked.
Aye, I'm famished. You'll be joining me, of course. I have many questions about the country ahead.
Thunder crashed overhead. The first gales of the storm billowed around the cottage. The young man moved to the kitchen and served up 2 bowls of stew, a loaf of bread, and fetched a fresh keg of mead. He set the table, and Ansgar moved to join him. As they supped and spoke, Kent felt a yearning in his loins, a deep need to kiss and be ravaged by this man. After dinner concluded, Kent tidied up and joined the Viking in the main room.
Come and sit next to me,
Ansgar said, his deep, booming voice sending quivers up Kent's spine.
Gladly, sir.
Kent replied, moving over to sit close to Ansgar, his heart thrumming in his chest.
I've noticed your gaze upon me and seen the need in your eyes,
Ansgar said.
You're a very comely young man.
Thank you, sir.
Kent replied submissively.
Come, sit on my lap,
Ansgar said. Kent moved to where Ansgar was sitting, obediently settled into the big man's lap. Something firm and surprisingly large pressed against his buttocks.
Has anybody sent this to Ken?
The affection in your shapely figure has aroused me. Would you pass the evening in my embrace?
I am yours, Ansgar.
Kent moaned. Ansgar pulled Kent in to kiss him, and Kent exploded in a sea of fiery lust, and strangely enough, his loins went cold, uncomfortably so. Kent jumped from his computer table, pants soaked with iced lemonade. Kent went to his room and changed his pants. No small feat, considering the erection he had. The dream had been so real. He could almost smell the aroma of oil and man musk the beautiful Viking had emitted. Oh well, he thought. The mood was ruined for now, but he always had later. He would return in due time to the simple life of a stable hand and the beautiful Viking. Ansgar, the picture of manhood, the mighty warrior, who would rescue him from his meager existence and whirl him away to high adventure in his firm and loving embrace. Freshly changed into his bedclothes, Kent settled back and dreamed. This story is meant as satire. None of the events of the story are meant to be taken literally by anyone. Just a fun bit of fiction, just for a laugh. I love you all.
I knew that was Ring straight away.
Yeah.
We got to send this to Hovins.
Oh yeah.
I don't
We
know
need
if
to.
my brother did or didn't, to be honest.
Yeah. We need to make him aware of this.
Oh, there's a little bit more.
Oh,
Okay.
that was
I'll be
brilliant.
breathing into his ears. So, I have been some time without affection, and your shapely figure has aroused me. Would you pass the evening in my embrace? This is hilarious. What? Why are you getting your voice in the thing? You can ask me after. Ask me after. It's recording. Now he's got a bunch of shit to edit out.
I didn't, though.
A fake fan fiction thing. What he wrote about me and Kent Hovind. And I'm recording voice lines for it. God damn it.
That was brilliant.
Awesome. That was awesome.
Absolutely brilliant.
So you like that, did you?
That was funny.
So my only question is, when Sammy's finished writing his fan fiction, are you going to read some of them?
I am entirely up for that. Especially after several whiskeys, I am entirely willing to do the narration.
Do you reckon Math Pig will voice himself?
I doubt it now.
I think he should, but he has also said that he'd be willing to accept Liam Neeson.
That's right, he did too. Oh, that's so good. That is absolutely amazing.
That creased me up.
Enjoyed that one, did you?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I hope you're going to do some more of them.
Well, I'm definitely going to do some more story readings. I'm kind of glad we got to do this little thing, because due to my computer problems, I couldn't quite make it to my own bloody premiere.
Oh, you made it to this. And this was fun.
I did the premiere, but I was midway through trying to get my new computer to work when I when I'd scheduled it. So I was there like, oh, damn it.
Oh, dear.
I
No,
just
that
think
was awesome.
we need Hovind needs to see that.
I'm not sure if I want it to be like a whole thing that it gets sent to Hovind lots, because I don't want to have to deal with a whole thing, you know.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well,
honestly, his fans end up coming on streams where onto videos where things are being said about him, and will absolutely hammer the chat. Because we had about 6 of them show up just for my stream on him.
Yeah, I don't really want to have like a whole thing with it.
They usually just stay there shouting, "Debate Kent, debate Kent."
Oh no, they got pissy with us for taking the piss out of him. I'm not going to debate Kent. He's dishonest.
Well,
and he kish gallops. And
the thing is, he can't have a sense. He has not got a sense of humor about himself either. Like he wouldn't find anything funny in that.
No, no, I don't think he would. So while I kind of think it would be funny to for that to be passed along. Also, I don't want to deal with that afterwards. So.
What would be really cool though is if he decided to whack an atheist with you by playing this on his channel.
Yeah, that would.
Yeah, you've made it when you get whacked by Kent Hovind.
Oh dear.
Yeah, well, that's good. I would know about
I think it's. I don't know. I mean, I don't know who he's done recently. I mean, he seems to be going after Simon Dan quite a bit a few month or two ago.
Well,
but I don't know if
kicked his ass in 2 debates, so it's hardly surprising.
Did they actually
Not Dan, no, sorry, it was Katz who kicked him in the debates, wasn't it?
I did do Kent Hovind in my Noah's Ark. Actually, I did a little bit of Hovind in my Noah's Ark video ages ago.
Well,
it looks like Ansgar did a lot of Kent.
Well, Kent challenged what happened with Simon Dan is Kent challenged him to a debate on a channel or something. Simon Dan made a counter offer saying, I will debate you in front of your own people at Dinosaur Adventureland. I will come over myself, providing you can actually get a passing grade on a GCSE science test.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Kent's like, well, evolutionists make all the rules on those tests.
Yeah, that's the point, Kent.
Do you want to get your Kent star in here, Badger, if we're going to talk about it?
Ring, yeah. Come on, you're one of the stars of this.
Hang on.
You've got far better Kent than I do.
How do I Twitter? Where is he? Right, Ring, if you want to come in, there's a thing in the place.
Come and do a thing, Ring. Hey, Johnny Drive By. And Julie. Who else was in the chat? Julie, Spooky, Santi, Mark. Hey, all the lovely people there. Oh, Jeff, you're in the chat.
Yeah,
I see that. And this is fun, and I'm really looking forward to doing more of them.
Yeah, as I said though, Kent, even not even just Kent could not take any kind of ridicule though with any good sort of like he cannot allow himself to be a butt of a joke. He cannot take it.
No, he can't.
I mean,
he's definitely the butt of that joke.
Well, here's the thing: you got Ansgar himself actually willing to participate in that. Kent would never do it. But even if it wasn't like a sort of like sort of fake sort of sexual fiction sort of story, Kent I think because there is that sort of cult leader kind of mentality. He couldn't have a laugh at himself in any respect whatsoever.
No.
Whereas any of us, we'd be more than happy to voice ourselves in anything like this.
Yeah.
It's just hilarious.
I don't know. It depends on how.
Most of us have no shame.
It depends how bad Sammy's fan fiction's going to
be. I would say that there's only one thing I can think of off the top of my head that I wouldn't be willing to voice myself in, and that is an endorsement of Disney.
But enough.
Or illegal stuff.
We've
fiction about illegal stuff. I wouldn't, unless it was like something absolutely terrible, then I wouldn't really mind.
Yes, we should don't bring Disney up, Badger. You just make yourself sad.
I did that earlier already.
Ray didn't know if she could take it anymore. She held the lightsaber in her hand and turned it towards herself and pressed the button.
Yeah, that's probably happened.
Where was she pointing the lightsaber to?
Herself.
Yeah. Whereabouts?
I didn't say.
You go on to Rule 34. That's already a thing. Right, Ring. I've sent you a thing if you want to drop in and say hello. But
I'll be back in a couple of minutes. Okay.
No worries. So what's your next one, Badger?
I don't really have a plan for my next one. I am planning at some point to do some more SCP Foundation stories.
Okay.
I'm also planning to do some other stories just on other interesting things that are fun, but I haven't quite decided what yet. I would like to do some stories that I've written, but my story writing is not that great, to be honest. I either write a load of shit or I get far too into it and never finish it.
Yeah, that's what I normally do.
I've got like a third way written Star Wars fan fiction at the moment, set during the Clone Wars.
You were talking about that last night. Well, last night for me.
Which deals with the side of things where you know how the Jedi, if you look at them from your non kind of universe perspective, they are well, no, if you look at them from an in-universe perspective, they are kind of a weird cult.
They are definitely a cult. Are the Jedi a cult? Oh, no, that'd be a good video. I wonder if you could get
my fan fiction deals with a certain aspect of that from a Mandalorian perspective.
Badger, how would you feel about doing a video about Are the Jedi a cult with Telltale?
Oh, I'd be interested in doing that.
I would too. Definitely, I'd be interested in doing that. I mean, they definitely have indoctrination, and I'm pretty sure I could get Telltale on the side for doing that. I wonder if we could get Paul as well. That'd be cool.
That would be interesting.
That'd be interesting. I am going to see if I can organize that as a fun thing, maybe later in the week as a stream.
I'm not. I forgot what I was going to say with that. Anyway, yeah, I'd be interested in that.
Yeah.
While we're here, have you actually seen my Noah's Ark video?
I don't think I have.
Do you want to see a bit of my Noah's Ark video?
Yeah, let's watch a bit of your Noah's Ark video. We're doing a first reactions, and I can't remember if I've seen it or not.
Anyone in the chat, if you want to see a Noah's Ark video, that's good because you're about to. As soon as I find the bloody thing.
Yeah, are you going to be able to put it in the same thing and pop up because I left it sitting there, so.
Yeah, I can put it in the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah, he did something similar, Julie, about it, talking about the Jedi. But yeah, I'm pretty sure he'd have a discussion with people about it. And Telltale's pretty cool with stuff like that. So I will reach out.
Where's Noah's Ark? I've gone past the bloody thing, haven't I? Come on, it's got the best thumbnail ever.
Gonna say, Jen, if you do manage to get that stream, with Telltale,
you want in?
I want into that. That'd be so cool to go for the bike model with the Jedi Order.
And all have a feedback into it. I think it'd be something that would be awesome.
I love those videos that Cyrus did. I think obviously soon they're probably not there anymore after what happened to his channel, but he did.
He's like most of his streams he lost because he didn't have backups for them. There is a good way to get backups of your streams though. EEV blog was doing a thing about there's another video sharing site that's fairly new now called Library. It does more than just videos, but if you sign up to that, it automatically downloads your streams and your videos to it from YouTube.
Yeah. Okay.
And then you've got a backup, but you don't get them in quite as high a quality as they normally are. But I don't care; it'd just be nice to have a backup.
He did a couple of ones looking at philosophy of like couple of the Sith lords, and he was going to do one on I think he was researching one to do on canon from the canon version, but he did one on like the epistemology of Darth Bane,
yeah,
and one on I think Plagueis as well.
All right, so I've got a little thing here which I've just been chatting with Jen about, which is the What am I talking about? Noah's Ark video I did. Because as we're talking
is
about
Ring coming in or not, or is he?
I don't know if Ring's coming in. I've sent him a doodly doo, but
Send him a doodly-doo.
hang on.
Yeah, if you want to come in, watch Badger's video with us.
Right, I've put the thing in the place, and then I'll make the thing go. I'm just trying to figure out how I can make how I can show you the thumbnail.
Well, you could you could share that.
Yeah, I can, but I'm just give me a second. That's how I shall do it. I'll put it in there. This was the thumbnail I came up for this video. Stop being silly, you silly person.
Silly Badger.
He's on the phone and in the bath. Yeah. Perhaps when you get out of the bath, then ring it for
Okay. Right. So then what I need to do is I need to go share that. There we go.
It's safe, isn't it? Being on the phone in your bath.
Probably not if you can come on camera.
That's what I came up with as the thumbnail.
Nice.
I see a theme.
Yeah.
All right. Here we go. Are we ready?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, we're ready.
All right.
Hello, Bad-Tempered Badger here. Now that it's finally raining again after months and months of sweating my fur off, I thought I'd tackle a subject I haven't really looked at before. So for that reason, I found myself an actual Noah's Ark guy with amazing hair. Let's see what he's got to say.
What? There was no worldwide flood? How? Why? Why did there-
I'm sorry. I should just laugh at him because of his looks, but
But you don't think our planet Earth had a flood when our planet has a lot of water?
If I've understood some articles I've been reading lately correctly, the planet's rocks may have soaked it up like a sponge. But wherever the water on Mars has gone, it's completely irrelevant to the water on Earth.
I mean, the facts of the canyons, the gorges, the continental rift, the shelves, the fact that this Earth looks so physically
sciencey words.
is a lot of evidence to prove that there was a worldwide flood, not just because God's word says so that there was a worldwide flood, and that's a clear line in the sand for me.
Like this line in the sand in Kenya, thought to be caused by tectonic plate movements slowly splitting Africa in two. You have heard of tectonic plates, right? How the whole Earth's surface is constantly very slowly moving.
The scientific evidence points a lot to it. Did you know that there's a lot of rocks layers that are bent out of shape and such? Rock does not bend really well. And that's not even erosion. That's clearly sedimentary layers put on top of each other that are bent in slight ways, even going this way. Completely bent in this joint right here.
Yes, those are called anticline and syncline folds. They create very nice looking arch patterns and rock layers. They're caused by tectonic plates pressing against each other, causing the rocks along the fault line to, over millennia, crack and fold in against each other.
And the fact is, there's a lot of fossils.
Did we just see Badger's hands in a video?
That are frozen positions. Either a little fish giving birth, a little bigger fish eating a smaller fish.
it's paws, isn't it? It's not hands.
So you can give birth to a fish.
Pause, sorry.
All it takes is a fish dying in the process of giving birth and then being buried under sediment. It's really quite simple,
It's because It really fulfills a lot of the prophecy that scoffers in the last
Blah, 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 Bible verses, blah, 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 prophecy, blah, blah, blah.
By the way, here's my Walking with Jesus t-shirt. Moving way back, by the way, there are over 270 surviving flood legends from around the world, from cultures that perhaps haven't even heard of the Bible, and elements are still from all those stories.
Oh, God, is he really going there?
With how the flood happened.
Oh yes, many primitive tribal cultures have been devastated by floods. However, the stories listed here are so internally inconsistent and irreconcilably contradictory of each other that they quite clearly demonstrate they are not referring to the same event. In fact, the Bible's own account of the flood is internally inconsistent, apparently being made out of two previous narratives stitched together. As I read it now, the author can't seem to make up their mind from line to line how many of which kind of animals there are.
Now, the fact is, you're going to have to get all those cartoony Noah's Arks out of your head. They're always trying to make Noah's
Oh,
Ark
this is my favorite bit of the video.
sticking up out of the chin, about ready to sink at any moment. You had to get it into your mind that it was more something like this. And yes, even dinosaurs were on there.
Something like this, eh? Well, I found that picture on Creation Wiki. So let's have a look. Here's the Ark. There's Noah and all his family. Here's all the animals coming in. Let's have a closer look at some of these, shall we? They're all lined up there. Are they all going to fit, though? That's the question. Well, let's look at the sizes here. So here we have a giraffe. And giraffes tend to be around 6 meters tall, usually a little bit less. Let's assume this one is around the maximum size, 6 meters. You can extrapolate that to mean that the Ark is about 18 meters tall. So let's have a look at what other animals we have here. What's this? This appears to be a stegosaurus. Well, how long is a stegosaurus usually? They, according to the fossil finds, tend to be around 9 meters long. So that's a bit short. It would look more like this. Yeah, that's a bit bigger, not unreasonable. It's probably going to kill these guys on the way there. What's this? Looks like some kind of sauropod. I think probably Diplodocus. Let's assume it is for the sake of argument. Well, it looks about the same size as the giraffe. That's not unreasonable. But that's not accurate, is it? Diplodocus carnegie tended to be 25 meters long. And that looks more like this. So now we're starting to look like it might struggle to get up this ramp. But that's not the largest.
Tell me we can get through the fucking door.
Diplodocus holorum, which is more like 50 meters long. So that would look much more like this. I don't think this is quite up to the job, you know. What other species of dinosaur would they need to fit on? Well, let's have a classic T-Rex, shall we? You've got to have one of those on board. They tend to be about 12 meters long, which would mean it would look like this. Oh, no, that's got feathers. That's no good. I know it's more accurate, but ugh, I don't like them. That's much better. As you can see from that, the Ark's starting to look a little bit crowded, but the Bible says you don't just need one of each, you need 2 of each, which really makes sense. So let's add another one each. There we go. Yes, it's starting to look very overcrowded aboard that Ark there. Now, this doesn't take into account the numerous other species of dinosaur that, if they lived at the same time as man, would need to be fitted on. So here's a few more species. And there's 2 of those as well. I don't think you're going to fit in this boat, which wouldn't be big enough even if you only accounted for the animals that would have actually been alive at the time. And of course, there's another consideration, which is the door. The door looks to be, judging by our other measurements, about 4 meters tall. None of these are going to fit through it. There's another thing we haven't really considered here. Look at the Ark itself. Guessing this would be the stern and that would be the bow. Let's assume that for the sake of argument. So stern here looks to just be straight up square. No nice point or anything to break up the water, but the square stern is not necessarily unheard of on a boat. The side entirely flat and square as well. No nice curve to allow it to cut through the water. But let's have a little look at the bow. From what we can tell from this picture, the
bow looks like it'll be completely flat as well. No nice curvature to cut through the water. So it'll be trying to cut through it more like a battering ram than a knife. That's not going to work terribly well. Let's zoom out. Let's see what else we have here. Well, there don't appear to be any sails or oar slits or any other means of propulsion, and it doesn't seem to have a boat to steer or a keel to keep it upright. This boat is very poorly designed. A square, cross-sectioned, rectangular oblong is a very poor shape.
It's a very good coffin.
Here's a picture from the same website of the Ark floating through stormy waters as the flood takes its course. Doesn't look terribly well designed. In fact, it would float better on the top than on the bottom. So, as a wave comes in, that cross-section isn't going to do it very well. As you can see from this highly scientific bucket, any kind of wave or strong wind from the side will send the thing tumbling. And it wouldn't have terribly thick walls, judging by its size, weight, and the amount that's got to be fitted inside. So any strong gust of wind coming past, and the inside will look like this. As the planks split, water comes tumbling in. People, animals, dinosaurs, and shit fly everywhere. I don't know why he insists on this design when on the same website there are much better ones that look much more like actual boats. They still wouldn't work, but they'd be better than this.
And yes, even dinosaurs were on there. And you say, dinosaurs on the Ark? I did not read that in the Bible. Well, of course you won't find the word dinosaur in the Bible because
here we go.
Up until 1840. The word dinosaur is still a very young word, and there was a word that they actually used for dinosaurs back then. Dragons.
Yeah, but it doesn't mention dragons in Noah's Ark story either. You could argue that, well, of course, the dragon kind would be one of the kinds brought aboard during the flood. But that doesn't solve the issue that even without the dragon kind or the dinosaur kind, they're not all going to fit unless Noah conveniently came up with embryology and refrigeration for his trip, then conveniently forgot about them immediately after. It's not going to work.
And that's why there are thousands of legends of people killing off dragons. The fact is, dinosaurs did not live millions of years ago, and all those layers in the earth are not representing different ages. They're representing different layers of density or hydrologic sorting based upon a flood. You can get a jar of dirt and shake it up and set it down. It's going to form into layers for you in a few minutes.
Jar of dirt going to help. If you don't want it, give it back.
Jarda.
Religion also doesn't consider is what animals actually need to survive. Let's look at one animal, for example. Let's pick one at random. I don't know. How about the badger? Let's see what a badger might need in a post-flood world in order to survive. Badger lives in a burrow or set, usually on sloping ground in woodland areas.
Apparently cheese and Battenberg cake, as far as I'm aware.
So let's start with fruit. Fruit, nuts, things like apples, pears, plums, berries, all kinds of fruit like that. But of course, all this lovely foliage is dead because it's been submerged in water for 40 days. So
Salt
all that's
water.
dead, gone, rotted away, done. That doesn't mean, though, there's less places for the other things the badger likes to eat to hide. Let's start with earthworms here, which make up about 80% of the badger's common diet. Assuming 2 earthworms are brought on the Ark, that'll do for a quick nibble. Right, they're gone. The earthworm is now extinct. So let's move on to the slug. And the slug won't even make it down the ramp from the Ark, because as soon as it touches the brackish salty water from the flood, all the slugs in the world are now extinct. Badgers sometimes like to eat plant bulbs. Unfortunately, the flood will have killed all the ones that were in the ground. There won't have been time for any new ones to have grown yet, so they're out. Badgers often like to eat grubs. Here we have some nice, lovely grubs. There won't be any of those in the soil. All the ones that were there will have died, and any released from the Ark will be eaten by the badger and anything else that eats grubs within about 5 minutes, so they're extinct. Badgers will sometimes eat bird eggs, particularly of ground nesting birds. Here we have a lovely nest, which the birds in a post-flood world may have been able to make out of the remains of foliage lying around, and then laid their eggs. So, badger comes along, has a nice little bird egg snack. That species of bird is now extinct as it has nowhere to safely nest and rear its young. What else do we have here? The slow worm. That's a common sight in English gardens. Badgers do from time to time eat slow worms. Assuming 2 on the arc, the slow worm's now extinct after the badger has a nice evening meal. There are many species of lizards that live in Europe, specifically in the British Isles. Assuming 2 of the species managed to get to the same area of the badger, that species is now extinct. Badger's still a bit hungry though. Hasn't really had enough to eat this evening in order to survive. Let's see what else is available. Oh, the poor cute hedgehog. Yes, badgers do eat hedgehogs. 2 hedgehogs on the arc. They're now extinct. But the badger may have eaten enough to survive the night. So, where does a badger normally live? In a burrow in the ground, known as a set. So the badger will try to dig itself a nice set, but the ground is waterlogged. Burrow keeps collapsing. This is no good. Badger has nowhere to hide. But what else was on that ark? Well, according to this chappie here, the T-Rex. He comes in, has a nice evening badger meal. The badger is now extinct. Good work, chap.
There's a lot of evidence for the fact that there used to be giants in the earth in those days. Now, a lot of museum establishments these days, like the Smithsonian and such, have tried been hiding these discoveries
sounds very
because
familiar.
it goes against the evolution theory.
Just
the
try
evolution
this.
says we started off tiny, we're getting bigger and better and stronger and smarter. I think the Bible indicates that we start out bigger and we're getting smaller, weaker, and dumber. Now, it's true that in the past 100 years, there's been an increase in about 6 inches in average height, only That's because of increased nutrition, food supply, better sanitation, nothing to do with evolution. Again, simply put, Darwinistic evolution is a religion. They don't want any evidence to go against their theory, and they would have thrown it out a long time ago if it was real science, because the evidence does not.
What they call him, Discount Kent Hovind.
Yeah, this is Discount Hovind.
Discount
I've been to him before Cirrus, I want that known.
I think the atheist, the armored skeptic would often be giving you a lot of answers that often are just put in repeat in a lot of textbooks these days because they're choosing not to update any of the information or the lies that they have in the textbooks.
He's fucking kidding, right?
Your favorite reference book hasn't been updated for centuries.
I'm going to set the record straight right up front. I'm not trying to force creation into the schools. I'm not trying to force evolution out of the schools. I just want the lies out of the textbooks.
Well, that's an admirable goal. But I think what you'll find will happen once that's done is that there won't be very many religious textbooks. And it'll be
nerdy you shit.
Generation of not religious, skeptical people, which would be an excellent thing.
So my final verdict is, there is a world. Just look around. The world is completely and even spiritually destroyed, I might say. We're living in a junkyard. Peace out. Keep thinking. Jesus bless you. And TDFN, shout out for now.
He does have a point here. The world isn't in a great state right now. The World Wildlife Fund estimates that between 0.01 and 0.1% of all species will become extinct each year under current trends, which, given estimates of the number of species on the planet, is anywhere between 200 and 100,000 species becoming extinct every year. The effects of humanity's carelessness are plain to see. The best thing we can do about it is to combat misinformation, to make sure that humanity understands the damage it is causing to the natural world, and to not rely on a great supernatural being in the sky to fix everything for us. Because if we cock this planet up, the waters of the deep won't come welling up to wash away our mistakes. Thanks for watching, everyone.
Good stuff, Badger.
That was awesome, Badger.
My favourite bit of that is the bit where I'm showing you the different things about the app. But I also like the open comparison. I was really pleased with myself when I made this video.
That was
Brilliant,
good.
Badger.
That was
That was
good
really
job
good.
you did on that, Badger.
Oh, thank you very much.
Yeah, so the parroting of Hovind was just so. That was that's what
brilliant.
that guy. That's what that guy does, though. He's just parroting Kent.
I listened to it and I was thinking, there's something familiar about this, and it sounds much more polished in the delivery than the rest of what he's saying here.
Mm.
It sounds like he's reading a script. I wonder.
Yeah.
He's literally reading from Kent Hovind's old playbook.
Yeah.
Which is, to be fair, is the same as Kent Hovind's current playbook. But
I believe he actually has been on a video with Kent.
Yeah, I think he has now. I didn't even have to adjust the speed of either of those videos.
Yeah, he pretty much was on par.
There were a few bits where they went slightly out of sync, but at the start and at the end, they were perfectly in sync with each other.
Yeah. Sad. I can't see why anyone would want to idolize Kent Hovind. There are so many better role models. Even amongst the Christian communities, there are so many better role models than Kent.
even amongst young Earth creationists, that you can, there's better.
Oh, no, there's way better.
Ken
Kent's own son is better than Kent.
At least Ken Ham sounds Australian a bit.
I mean, Eric is better than his old man.
Eric does parrot a lot of his old man stuff, though. He's very.
He does, but he's not a prick like his old man. Not in the same way.
Yeah, see, I'm not as I'm perhaps not as kind on Eric Hovind as some people are. See, some people just feel bad, but Eric is dishonest in his own right.
No, I totally agree. He's dishonest, but I don't think he's the same level of prick as his old man is.
Oh no, probably not. I
can't see Eric doing a whack an atheist sort of thing.
See, Eric, see, for a little while, Eric was getting into like precept stuff, didn't he? Because he started hanging around with Side 10 for a while, didn't he?
Yeah. Oh, he still does a bit of precept, but he's not in the same thing. Yeah. He still goes on a "could you be wrong about everything you think you know?"
Mm.
Yeah, totally. But you are wrong about everything you think you know.
Yeah, exactly. That's the point.
So yeah, that's.
Yeah, I think Mark's right. They're just lazy.
That's probably.
They don't want to use their own brains. Most of them don't have them.
That's probably the video that I've made related to the topic of religion and atheism and stuff that I'm most proud of.
It is really good. Although, oh god, how had the time to yawn? Well, although I must admit, your news story is my favorite.
No, that doesn't mean that Badger could be wrong about Disney.
I mean, it's the thing of it is though. It's like when you look at like these creationists or whatever. It is just like the same stuff all over and over again, and it gets a bit dull. Like for example, I just like Googled like something reasons evolution is false just to see what it says, and straight away it's like number one we would have there should be millions of we should have transitional fossils and whatever, and like
what, like every fossil ever?
Yeah, you're like what the fuck, and when Darwin came up with a theory, he admitted no transitional forms existed. Yeah, but then it's like what, 2 years later they found Archaeopteryx, you know, so it's like they just,
Yeah.
you know, it's the same ridiculous things over and over again. And then they, you know, when you give them the evidence on this, they try and move the goalposts, you know.
Oh, always moving the goalposts. I don't think they could do anything without moving the goalposts, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah. See, I think, I think, you know, I think Ken Ham's group is far more blooming dangerous though than someone like, because they do, you know, they have got a much bigger reach, and he has got people with at least legitimate qualifications working for Answers in Genesis. Now they're dishonest as hell, those PhDs and whatever that work for him. But,
Yeah.
you know, they actually got something they can sort of hold up and, you know, like say, hey, we've got legit scientists. Whereas a guy like Hovins is you know, obvious, you know, so obviously a charlatan and a con man.
Oh, but he's Dr. Dino.
Yeah, well, we've I think it's been talked about his doctorate before, isn't it?
Oh, hello, I'm Kent Hovind.
Hello, my name is Kent Hovins.
Kent Hovind.
Well, also, it's the only. I think it's got to be the only doctoral thesis in the world that you find on WikiLeaks. Seriously, that is the one place I could find it available. The first place that had it available was WikiLeaks.
Oh dear.
Whereas any other doctoral thesis is published in a journal somewhere.
Right.
Any legit one.
Does anyone want to see one of my other story readings before we wrap up?
Oh, could they? How long? Give me a sec. I'm just typing.
They're
Something.
usually something like 10 minutes. Hang on.
Yeah, do that.
It's good doing fucking words. It's good doing reaction things to your own videos, because then there's no copyright issues. You can just play the whole thing all the way through.
Yeah.
Just send a message to Telltale.
Mm.
Oh, excellent. Oh, we could do a reaction to that 2.5 hour long stream I did with you, Jen.
Yeah, that'd be fun. Do you need me to share this again?
Yeah. Oh my god.
There you go.
Well, there's that hour-long stream I did with Jesus is Lord.
No.
You don't want to see me respond to Jesus is Lord?
I don't want to see an hour-long stream.
It's nice.
Oh,
Bad, Jeff.
Let me find. What have I got? There's a nice SCP Foundation story we could do.
SCP.
Yeah,
M-O-U-S-E.
No, careful.
So are the Sith a cult?
What's that?
Are the Sith a cult?
I mean, there's the two aspects.
I don't know. It's difficult to quantify.
I mean, they do have their rule of two, but I mean, aside from that, they're pretty much open to doing anything. They're heavy. There's no heavy duty rules on them per se.
I mean, and the rule of two was introduced for a specific reason.
Because they kept killing each other.
They always ended up kept fighting each other. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Does anyone know? Does anyone know anything about the SCP Foundation?
No,
not really.
Okay, it's a fictional foundation, which it stands for Secure, Contain, Protect. It is a foundation that contains anomalous entities and artifacts.
Oh,
So,
okay.
in this case, we're dealing with the entity known as SCP-1867, who believes itself to be a chap called Lord Blackwood.
Okay.
Whether it is Lord Blackwood or not is not entirely certain.
Wasn't that character in a Sherlock Holmes film?
Not that one. Different Lord Blackwood.
Not that one.
Lord Blackwood.
I muted myself, didn't I? Are you prepared?
Yeah, go for it.
Badger, are you muted?
Yeah, I forgot to click play.
Right.
Good afternoon, researcher. Dr. Bernstein is about to interview SCP-1867 regarding an artifact found in its possession. Your assignment this afternoon is to record the interview for future reference. The doctor is already waiting for you. Proceed.
This already seems a bit darker than your previous one.
Very dark. I gotta go sleep after this, you know.
Good afternoon, SCP-1867.
Please, good doctor, call me Theodore.
Very well, Theodore. I would like to ask you a few questions about this.
Oh, Yuri Dreshnik's command baton. Haven't seen it in years. Interesting story behind that one.
Would you care to elaborate?
Certainly. I do enjoy telling a good story. And this one is so very full of excitement.
Please continue.
Well, it was the year 1855, and the Russian war was raging across the Black Sea. The Tsar was trying to take control of the Bosphorus Straits from the Ottomans, using some daft argument some priests had in the Holy Land as an excuse. Our brave lads, along with the Froggies, were giving the Russians a right thrashing, despite a few minor setbacks, like that unfortunate business with the Earl of Cardigan's Light Brigade. Brave man. Terrible tactical sense. I remember having a heated discussion with him about the Scipio Africanus vertical spear formation.
Focus on the baton, please.
Oh, right. It was, I believe, late July. I was visiting an acquaintance of mine in London, and we were just discussing the preparations necessary for an expedition he was planning to the East Indies when a knock was heard at the door. The manservant proclaimed it was a messenger from Lord Palmerston himself, who wished to speak to me at once. I made my way to number 10 Downing Street post-haste. The Prime Minister was waiting for me at his office. "Theodore," he said to me, "the Empire once again requires your services. The war in the Black Sea is turning in our favor, but we need to stick one final nail in Alexander's coffin if we want the Russians out of the Straits permanently." He pulled out a map and pointed at a spot. Sevastopol. We've been besieging the thrice-downed place for almost a year now. If we manage to take it from the Russians, it's only a matter of time until they surrender and accept our conditions.
Does this have anything to do with the baton?
I'm getting to it, I assure you. As I was saying, the Prime Minister confided in me that he was planning a joint attack with the French on Sevastopol in late August or early September. But there was a problem.
The Russians were rumored to have recruited a thaumaturge of great skill, Yuri Dreshnik, and he dared not order an attack as long as Yuri was there to muck things up with his magic. He wanted me to get rid of him.
Why did the Prime Minister need you to get rid of this wizard?
Thaumaturge, Doctor. They are not the same as wizards. He needed me because I had experience. I led the Great Warlock Hunt of Austria in 1833 and had numerous encounters with various shamans and witch doctors throughout my travels. I was quite the authority figure in the field, if I may say so myself.
Carry on.
The Prime Minister needed Dreshnik gone before the attack, and he knew I was the right man for the job. As a patriot, I couldn't refuse, and I was scheduled to board the HMS Gallant, leaving for Istanbul the following day. The journey was uneventful, save for a minor pirate raid near the shores of Libya, which was easily repelled. I arrived at Istanbul safely, then boarded another smaller vessel for the remainder of the trip. I arrived at General MacMahon's command ship on the last day of August. Patrice de MacMahon was a solid gentleman if ever there was one, even if he was French. Always good for a laugh and a quick shot of brandy. I first met him in Algeria when he commanded the Foreign Legion in the 1840s. The man could smoke a hookah like no other, and that's a promise. I remember sitting with him.
Was that smoke a hookah?
Focus, please, SCP-1867.
Theodore. Don't ask me
A hookah, Jen.
Oh, as in
MacMahon
okay,
told
pipe.
me
Yes,
he
okay.
received information that Dreshnik was hiding in the Malakoff itself, this massive stone tower overlooking the port, preparing some sort of foul ritual, as thaumaturges are bound to do. I was to assemble a team from the finest the Allied armies had to offer and make a raid on the tower at night, disposing of Dreshnik before he could raise some nastiness to hamper the war effort.
And how did the raid go?
Oh, quite splendidly. Well, mostly so. There was the small matter of our boat sinking halfway to the port, and our sniper slipping on some slick stones and breaking his ankle, and half the team getting discovered and riddled with bullets. But other than that, everything went perfectly. We finally cornered Dreshnik in his ritual chamber after a long chase. The man was surprisingly fast for a portly middle-aged gentleman in long robes. But he would not go down without a fight. He pulled out some strange apparatus he was hiding up his sleeve and pointed it at Sergeant Monroe. Poor man never stood a chance.
What did the device do to Sergeant Monroe?
Turned his skin inside out. The screams were quite terrible, not to mention the smell. He managed to do the same to Corporal Turner before I shot the device out of his hands, along with a few fingers. He wasn't done, though. Screaming like an Indonesian howler sloth, he sprayed blood from his severed fingers on the corpses of my fallen comrades. The two inside-out bodies jerked and came to life, attacking what little remained of my crew. They ripped Durand and Rouse apart with superhuman strength before I took them down with my trusty machete. Now it was just me and Dreshnik, and he was all out of tricks. His grand ritual was left unfinished as I brained him with his own command baton. The battle took place a week later, and we gave those Russian bastards a beating they wouldn't soon forget. That's how the baton came into my possession.
So the baton is just an ordinary command baton, no thaumaturgic power to it?
Of course not. I burned down his ritual chamber along with all his tools before making my escape and swimming back to safety. You'd have to be quite daft to keep a thaumaturge's belongings. They always curse the things. I lost a cousin to a curse like that. He was turned into an eel. Could you imagine that? Being an eel. Dreadful.
I would think so.
I mean an eel, really?
That will be all, researcher. Go and file your report and make sure you put the correct recipient and clearance in the folder this time.
There we go.
Badger, that was excellent.
Oh,
That was awesome. Yeah. No,
You're
that
really
was
good.
brilliant.
You're really good at doing those sort of readings and that. You really are good at that. Yeah.
He's our Vincent Price. That's what he is.
Damn, they need you. They need you as a regular voice in like radio plays or something. I think.
Now, for anyone not aware of the context, the doctor on the left was talking to the character on the right, who is a sea slug.
By the way, Badger, I actually found this thing whilst you were doing that. I actually found this thing, The Adventures of Lord Blackwood, Explorer and Gentleman. Yes.
I like the fact that the slug has no idea that it's a slug.
Yeah.
It's just totally...
Right.
Yeah, he's there talking about how silly it would be being an eel.
Yeah, and he's a slug.
I am that's some of my ongoing projects, as I'm gradually working through The Adventures of Lord Blackwood as story readings. I've got, I think, 4 of them on the channel now.
Oh wow, I'll have to watch some more.
I see there's quite a few of these. If I'm
now I realise I've got to go back through your whole back catalogue now. Badger, damn you!
Lord Blackwood in the Lands of the Unclean.
That is a very long one, which I haven't done yet.
I might go to sleep with that one tonight.
I haven't done a recording of it yet. There is a recording of it on YouTube, but the person cannot do a British accent properly.
Oh, that's a shame.
So he just doesn't try. But I would.
You know what you need? You need Lindy Page to do a voice for you in one of your things.
I am doing guest voices in some of these story readings. So far, as you know, I've had Ansgar and Wandering for the one we started with here.
Yeah.
That one we just watched featured Director Arciter as the Doctor. And the one that followed it had Hissy as another Doctor.
That could be interesting.
So, if you're looking for something to do guest voices on, I'm gradually working my way.
Oh, hi, Richard.
I'm gradually working my way through the Lord Blackwood tales.
Yeah, no, that'd be fun.
Yeah,
but yeah, you should do a reach out to Lindy Page.
Say again, sir?
I said you should do a reach out to Lindy Page.
I would like to do a chat with Lindy Page at some point.
Well, Lindy Page would be fucking. Yeah, you have a chat with Lindy Page. I want to be in.
I think if
there'd be a few people there trying to figure out who's talking when.
You have to come across some sort of, if you come across some character who's a bit of a farmer or something, I'm probably the best person to do the voice for that. I've got that slight twang for that.
I think there's characters in the Land of the Unclean that would suit that.
So I have got that. I've been told I don't notice it, but I've been told I've got that slight twinge to my accent.
Hey, Ola.
I can do a bit of the farmer because I could do the southern. I can. Around here, we drive around on the tractors,
Oh, that's brilliant!
That's a bit of an Hampshire og, my boy. I don't have to change my voice that much to do that. Hampshire, born and bred, strong in the arm and thick in the head.
Ah, dear.
Oh, my old man's a dustman. He wears a dustman's hat. Something. I can't remember the words, but he lives in a council.
He wears gold blimey trousers, and he lives in the council's flat.
There we go.
I can do a few accents, but they tend to merge a little bit. I used to be able to do an Australian accent better than I can now. And then
I can't do an Aussie accent.
Then I played an Australian character.
I can.
You should be able to by now, Jen.
Then I played an Australian.
Funny that,
Yeah.
Played an Australian character in a roleplay game for a bit, and the accent just gradually degraded over time, especially when a load of other people started playing Cockney characters. And
Captain Sticky Bun.
There's enough.
Yeah, I'm useless at accents. So
there's enough similarity between Cockney and Australian for them doing Cockney accents to completely fuck up my Australian accent.
Is there like a big variety of like local accents in Australia or such?
No, not really. There's a couple of different ones. There's there's the more nasally twangy, where you get into the more nasal twangy sort of accent. Although I've got quite a twang anyway, so.
Of course, there's a difference between Australia and New Zealand because
definitely.
They say "Where's the car?" and we say "Where's the car?"
And they count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
I've generally found that New Zealand accent tad deeper than Aussie accents on the whole, just ever so slightly.
Oh, that is something that has been pissing me off. Not New Zealand. Well, yes, New Zealand, but separately to that, something that's been pissing me off. When you hear Americans and they're trying to sound British, they will say the word tad, but they will use it wrong. They won't just say it's a tad like this. They will say it's a tad bit.
Yes.
I mean, like, you don't fucking add bit on the end. It's just a tad.
Oh, come on! Come on! They don't have to. They don't know how to spell words like honour, for goodness' sake, Badger. You know, you can't expect too much. They forget that there's a U in it.
Mm-hmm.
Mind you, doesn't Australia do that a little as well, Jem? With like the
which one?
Like the sort of silent U's in words like honour or labour.
Yeah, labour. Like it's a more it's more an sound than a OUR.
Yeah.
Or an OR. Labour, honour. Yeah, but we tend to skip shit out of our words anyway. You know, we abbreviate everything over here. Abbreviate the shit out of things.
Right. Well, to everyone, happy Star Wars Day, except Disney.
But it's Disney.
No. I better make my escape because I need a massive piss and also to like exercise at some point today.
Yeah, I've got to go to bed. So, although having said that, I did send Dave the link to the stream, but he's probably knackered.
Yeah, probably. But yeah, I think we should probably call it.
It's up. I will let you know what happens with Telltale, and hopefully we can have something happen there.
That would be interesting. I'd definitely be up for that.
That would definitely be worth doing.
So all the people in the chat and anywhere else who I've said I'd like to do a chat with, I would still like to do a chat with you. And if you message me and remind me who you are that I've said I want to do a chat with, because my memory is terrible, because now that my computer is actually up and running again, I could do them.
Yeah, like this. This was fun.
Yeah, because up until the last day or so, I've been completely out of action for trying to organize things properly because I haven't been able to do stuff. I've been on my shitty laptop.
Actually, I do everything I do from a laptop, so that's all I have.
It's a serviceable laptop, but it takes absolutely ages to do stuff on it.
I'll say mine's a shitty one. It's a 2012 MacBook, for goodness sake, you know.
Right, so if you want to just say where people can find you, Jen, where do people find you?
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter, Jen's Little Corner, where I don't know. Well, I do whatever. I talk to this mob mostly. And my YouTube channel, which is also Jen's Little Corner, which I probably can throw a link up. Give me a sec. How do I get rid of this stupid thing? Yeah, I'll do it in a sec. I'll put link. Oh, that's how you get rid of it. Okay. Where's my link? File. Dave's in the chat, isn't he? Why am I even looking for links?
I need to check this.
Because Jen's an idiot.
I'll figure it out.
You can find me on Jen's Little Corner where I do crap and other shit.
I've put my. Oh no, I can't put mine in the chat. I'm not modded.
There you go.
Yeah, Dave's done it. There you go. I don't know why I did that. I do science and math stuff, and I have the occasional streams where I have discussions with people about various things. And today I put a song up just for the shit and giggles of it because I was mucking around. And yeah, that's me.
Outstanding. And Jeff, where can people find you?
I've got a tiny little YouTube channel called God the Scummer. I just get online, talk about stuff of now and again when it takes my fancy. It's kind of what I do. Been doing a nice little collaboration with Hissy over the last few weeks. So we're going through all the Asterix books, but we're kind of taking it in turns to go on each other's channels. So
I'd just like to say, Jay, it's not a nice little collaboration. It's fucking awesome. People should be watching that. More people need to watch that. It is so much fun. Follow Jeff on Twitter, and when he tweets out that that's going to be on, or follow Mum Ray. Oh, not Mum Ray, but follow Hissy. Follow me. We're all retweeting it whenever they do it. So whenever Jeff and Hissy are doing that stream, catch it because it's fucking awesome.
Yeah, we're doing Asterix the Gladiator on Sunday. I think about 1 p.m. UK time, but I think that's going to be on Hissy's channel. So,
does anyone know how to make a new playlist on YouTube? Oh no, never mind. I figured it out.
I'm pretty sure I started one for my.
I gotta do that too, and I'm gonna reorganize some of my videos in my playlists.
Right, there we go. I got it figured out. I can put an actual playlist of my Tales of Lord Blackwood stuff. Right.
Oh, cool. So, I like having nice stories to listen to when I go to sleep. So
thanks very much for coming, everyone. Thanks for joining me, Jen, Scummer, and thanks for everyone in the chat and whatever. I've forgotten how to do outros. Bye.
Bye. Try not to check on the selfie stick.
There we go.